Several Masters of Ceremonies and speakers reach out to me and say, Joyce, how can I negotiate better fees for my service? I know the value of what I render, but when I get to that table, I'm usually stuck. What do I do? Stick with me to the end of the video and you'll see exactly how to negotiate better fees.
My name is Joyce Daniels, and I am a social engineering practitioner. My voice is my tool. For over 14 years, I have served as a professional speaker, presentation skills trainer, mindset and confidence coach, and dedicated nation builder. I have trained over 10,000 individuals on presentation skills, public speaking, and event hosting. On my YouTube channel, my purpose is to transfer my inestimable years of experience to you, my viewer. Welcome to my channel.
So I'll tell you a few things that are globally known about negotiation. Just two. In fact, let me mention just two. One is called the Zone of Possible Agreement, ZOPA. Zone of Possible Agreement. We need to know this as professionals who are going to negotiate for payments being exchanged for our services. Second thing is BATNA, Best Alternative to Negotiated Outcomes. Best alternatives to negotiated outcomes. I had to study this online many years ago. I went on one of those free courses on one of those free course platforms and I learned this. So what is your ZOPA? This is the zone within which you will accept a negotiated outcome. So let's assume that you are willing to accept between 200 and 300,000 naira. You will not go lower than 200,000 naira. That's your zone, 2 to 3 or 2 to 350 or 2 to 400. So let's say somebody calls you and they ask what your fee is and you say, oh, 400,000 naira. And they go, oh, no way. All we have is 100K. And you say, well, this, that, and you come to say 280. And they say, oh no, the best we can do is 200. Before you went to the negotiation table, you knew your zone. And now they're falling on a digit that is still within your zone. Accept it. The problem is many times you don't even know your zone. So you are tempted to go outside of your zone. Stay within your zone. So have a zone, not just a figure, but a zone. Let's talk about the BATNA now. Remember your zone? The lower end was 200. Now the client insists that all they can pay is 150K. What is the best alternative to a negotiated outcome? You might say, okay, I would accept the 150 if you will allow me advertise my service in your event brochure. You see, alternative. I can accept the 150 if you will provide my travel, right? Or give me a car to pick me up, send a car to pick me up so I save funds on travel. I would accept your 150 if you throw in a hotel room because I need to be closer to the venue or something. What are the other alternatives? I would accept the 150 if you guarantee me that your next event coming up in 3 months will be mine and we sign a document to that effect. You see, what are the alternatives? Sometimes we have no alternatives and therefore we are stuck. I would accept your 150 if you assure me that I can have a stand, or if you assure me that I can put my flyers on the tables at the event. Yay! Or I can sell my books at the event. And the client might say, okay, we can do that. What are the alternatives? So think. Where there are no alternatives, it's best to stick within your zone so that it becomes your brand. Because, you know, there's word of mouth. People tell people, oh, well, she said 300, but if you push her just a little bit, she'll accept 100. Stay within your zone. So a few tips that you should know before you get to the negotiation table. Please, please, please don't negotiate on an empty stomach. I mean, yes, physically, when you're physically hungry, you may make brash decisions. Yes, so try and make sure you eat something before you begin negotiating. And in your psychological space, your emotional and psychological space, if you are desperate, it is possible you will leave your zone. So try to stay in the zone of courage and confidence, well-being, having thoughts of hope and courage about yourself, goodwill toward yourself before you negotiate. You might need to go through some affirmations and all to put yourself in a good state before you ask for money. Tip number 2 would be find somebody who can negotiate on your behalf where possible. When I started out as a Master of Ceremonies, the first gig I ever did officially, I had an event planner negotiate for me because she knew the territory, she knew the terrain, she knew the clients, she knew what clients could afford. And she asked for a fee that on my own I would never have asked for. And it worked. And that also built my confidence in my service. So is it possible that there's someone who can negotiate on your behalf a number of times until you get better at it? Whilst you're doing that, tip number 3 is study more on negotiations. Find a book on negotiation, find an audio book, an ebook. By all means, Google, but find some of the tips and tricks that can be used to negotiate better so that you become much better at what you do. Finally, I hope I won't say finally again, but finally, ensure you have an idea of who the person is you're negotiating with, what they want, know what they are seeking for so that you can offer to meet them halfway, midway, so that it's a win-win for both parties. Try to avoid negotiating blind. When someone calls you and just says, send us your rate card, you might be tempted to, but I would say find out what kind of event is it, what exactly are the outcomes you seek. I also want to be sure that I am a good fit for your event because I don't work at every event and I might know somebody who is better for you. You see, let them see your goodwill toward them and then they might warm up to you and tell you more about what they seek. That way you can build some camaraderie, some rapport before you actually get to the nitty-gritty of negotiating. Remember, every time that you want your clients to win as well as you want to win. It shouldn't be that you win and they lose or you lose and they win. Because if they win and you lose, you may not give your best service. If you feel cheated after you have negotiated a fee, you may, underline the word may, I'm not saying you will, you may not give your best service, which will reduce the chances of getting repeat business. So it's best to find yourself in a win-win position. And if you do go out of your zone, which happens sometimes, and you accept fees that are kind of less than what you would have wanted, then encourage yourself and decide that you will still give your best so that you increase your chances for repeat business. If this has been helpful to you, click the share button to someone else who needs to hear this. Thank you for being with me today. I look forward to seeing you again.